Good day, everybody. This is Ying Yang in California, broadcasting number 1729. Morsels of a thought, consecutive days in a row, because when we know the right things to do of wisdom, we are set. Because knowing the right thing to do is a form of wisdom, as my fortune cookie said. And then actually doing it is an act of virtue. So here we are with brain rescue. In case you've ever conked yourself on the head, um, given that I wasn't wise before, this makes me not so, at the beginning. However, Dr. Brody Miller, Dr. Bro, whom you can find on Instagram, anyway, you can find him on Instagram. This is Brain Rescue, a 90-day blueprint to reclaim your memory after a brain injury or concussion. So this has a foreword by John Assaraf, two-time New York Times best-selling author. He said, Brain Rescue is a life-changing guide packed with cutting-edge neuroscience. It's a beacon of hope. Hope. What do we need other than hope? The sixth step is S for super learning in chapter 8. The fifth pillar of chapter 8 is U for unleash. U for unleash. And the sixth step in that word is S for super learning. Now we go to a quote by Benjamin Franklin. An investment in knowledge always pays the best interest. Punny, yes. Good, yes. We're not just talking about learning here, says Dr. Bro. We're talking about super learning. Brody Miller, his last name is Miller. Dr. Bro. Do you want a great memory? Then you've got to level up the way you process and retain information, period. Let me break it down for you in a way you'll understand. Super learning is about locking in as much new knowledge as you can, as fast as you can, so that it sticks with you and elevates your game. This isn't just some random gimmick. It's a way to rewire your brain for greatness. This is about learning and retaining as much information as possible. So, what's the plan? We're going to engage the brain in a multifaceted way. Pro tip, did you know that when you read, listen, and write, you activate different areas of your brain? Read, listen, and write. Ooh. Your brain has different regions that light up when you take in information through different modes. When you read, you're stimulating your visual cortex. When you listen, you're firing up the auditory cortex. And when you write, you're engaging the motor and prefrontal cortex. You've got to tap into all these areas to get the full experience. That's good to know. Therefore, says Dr. Bro, if you make sure to learn in these three dynamic ways, you are strengthening different networks of the brain in a holistic way. This will allow you to learn at a faster rate than you ever thought possible while simultaneously increasing the amount of info that you retain. Now, that's the secret of this whole book on page 161. This will allow you to learn at a faster rate than you ever thought possible while simultaneously increasing the amount of info that you retain. If you make sure to learn in these three dynamic ways when you read, listen, and write, because you light up different areas of your brain. Okay, now the doctor says, I know it's been mentioned so many damn times in the book already, but it's true. Always consider your brain to be like a mental muscle. You don't just do one exercise to build your body, you hit the weights from every angle to build balanced strength. The same goes for super learning with a capital S. Reading is like doing your bench presses. hitting the visual cortex hard. Listening is like adding in core exercises targeting that auditory cortex and laying a strong foundation. Writing is like doing squats. It hits deep. It's where things come together and you level up. It's like cross training for your mind. Ah, thank you, John Clark, for all those dub 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 dub, um 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 for helping me write my journals. Journals, that's it. Let me ask you a few hard questions because if I don't ask you these questions, who will, says the Dr. Bro. How badly do you really want to improve? How committed are you to making this change? Because if you're not willing to go all in on this, you might as well stay in that same place you've been stuck in for years. Hmm. But if you're ready to step up, do the work and to change how you approach learning, then we can make some serious progress. We are reading Brain Rescue by Dr. Brody Miller. This is Morsels of a Thought of Wisdom. We're taking the magic action. We have to go to take the magic action to turn our wisdom into virtue, but we're going to bring more virtue into this world by borrowing wisdom from all kinds of people who know so many different things and learn the right things to do. When you conk your head, when you conk yourself on the head, I think this is probably the most diverse group of people, probably. Anyway, the Dr. Bro said, when you just read something, you're getting maybe 10 to 20% of the full benefit. It's like trying to work out only one side of the body. But when you combine reading, listening, and writing, you're getting a synergy effect. The act of reading brings the concepts to life visually. Your eyes track the words, and your brain starts processing the information in real time, creating an internal dialogue. Then, when you listen to the same information or someone else explaining it, you reinforce what you've read. So go buy this book and read along with me next week, huh? Every day. The with my other books too. The auditory cortex engages as you activate Wernicke's area, Wernicke, Wernicke's area, language processing, and suddenly the concepts go from static to dynamic. Finally, when you write down what you've learned, you're not just passively processing the information anymore. You're taking an active role in reshaping the structure of your brain, engaging motor cortex and Broca's area, BROCA, language production, and enhancing your brain's ability to retain that info long term. The seventh step in You for Unleashed in chapter 8, the seventh step is H for hormesis. Hormesis. David Goggins said, out of this delicate balance of tension and release, struggle and rest, we build resilience. David Goggins is the guy who did the Navy SEAL exercise 3 times, not one time, not 2 times, but 3 times. I can't imagine putting myself through all that torture. Okay, maybe I can, but oh. Just like anything else in life, says the Dr. Bro, too much or too little of anything can be detrimental to our health. Take water for example. If you have little water, you will suffer from dehydration. But if you have too much, you will have water poisoning and can eventually drown. I've been on both ends of that spectrum in the past. There was one day that I actually drank one of those 2.5 gallon items thinking that that would take away my physical pain. Well, that was wrong. I went to the hospital that day and they gave me morphine, a little too much morphine, but morphine. And then there was another time that I was going in to get a blood test and they couldn't find my vein. And they said, this happens to coffee drinkers. And I do drink too much coffee. So I've stopped drinking too much coffee. I now have just 1 cup in the morning and 1 cup in the afternoon. Actually, the cup is about 3 to 6 ounces. So I'm actually having half a cup in the morning and half a cup in the afternoon. So I'm really, anyway. So the doctor says, just like anything else in life, too much or too little of anything can be detrimental to our health. The same goes for stress. Too little can debilitate you, and too much can cause a heart attack. The hormesis principle, often referred to as the hormesis effect, revolves around understanding stress. Tongue twister. The hormesis principle, often referred to as the hormesis effect, revolves around understanding stress thresholds and their impact on our health and performance. There, got it. At its core, hormesis teaches us that not all stress is harmful. In fact, the right kind of stress can be incredibly beneficial, like getting married, like Rocio. I wonder if you agree. It's about finding that sweet spot in the amount or dosage in our lives. Sorry, Rocio, I didn't mean to make a joke out of you, but anyway, that's his wife. When we talk about stress, says the doctor, it's essential to differentiate between eustress, EUSTRESS, which is positive stress, and distress, DISTRESS, which is negative stress. Eustress and distress. EUSTRESS is positive stress. Eustress is the type of stress that motivates us, pushes us to grow, and enhances our overall well being. This positive stress is vital for our bodies and minds to thrive. Negative stress is toxic and cause our bodies to get extremely sick. Consider this. If a person doesn't engage in any physical activity, they experience too little stress on their muscles. Over time, this lack of stress leads to muscle weakening and atrophy. Essentially, their muscles deteriorate because they're not being used. This example highlights how a certain amount of physical stress is necessary to maintain muscle strength, endurance, and overall physical health. Similarly, in the realm of brain health, a lack of mental challenges, whether through learning new skills, solving puzzles, or engaging in stimulating conversations, can lead to cognitive decline and memory loss. Wow. Our brains need the right amount of stress to forge new neural connections and promote neuroplasticity, which is crucial for recovery from brain injuries and maintaining cognitive function as we age. So, understanding the HPA axis, I'm going to show you this later. It's got a few items on it, so be ready, I guess. In essence, the hormesis principle teaches us that stress, when applied correctly, acts as a catalyst for growth and recovery. It encourages our bodies and brains to adapt and strengthen in the face of challenges. However, the key lies in moderation. Too much stress of any form can overwhelm our systems, leading to negative health effects. Now let's discuss the HPA axis, which stands for hypothalamic pituitary adrenal axis. This is a complex set of interactions between three key glands: the hypothalamus, the pituitary gland, and the adrenal glands. Together, they play a crucial role in how our body responds to stress and why so many people have adrenal fatigue and burnout. The hypothalamus, this gland is located deep in the limbic brain and detects stress. When it senses stress, it releases a hormone called corticotropin releasing hormone, CRH. The number two, the pituitary gland. In response to CRH, the pituitary gland releases adrenocorticotropic hormone, ACTH, into the bloodstream. Number three, adrenal glands, ACTH, signals the adrenal glands located on top of your kidneys to produce cortisol, a hormone that helps your body manage stress. Cortisol is essential for many bodily functions, including regulating metabolism and controlling blood sugar levels. However, chronic stress can lead to prolonged cortical release, which may result in various health issues such as anxiety, depression, and immune system suppression. After a brain injury, the HPA axis can become dysregulated, DYS, leading to imbalances in cortisol levels. This imbalance can exacerbate feelings of stress and overwhelm, making it even more crucial to find healthy ways to manage stress. Now we've got the low on the bip, 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 on the what's the word? Horizontal axis, we got the amount of stressors. And then on the vertical axis, we've got the benefit. So how much benefit do we get with the amount of stress we get? Now there's a sweet spot. The more stress, the more benefit up to that point. But then after that, you get diminishing returns, and pretty soon, after too much stress, the benefit becomes less than zero and becomes a harmful dose. So that is where you want to try to get to enough stress to get to the top, to the sweet spot, and then just before you start to get diminishing returns. Yeah, that's a really good graph. I love it. It's great. We are reading the Brain Rescue, a 90-day blueprint to reclaim your memory after a brain injury or concussion by Dr. Brody Miller. This is for us to reach the point where we get to action, because when I do morsels of a thought, I hopefully get wisdom out to you. And wisdom is a form of wisdom is knowing the right things to do. Then actually taking the action is magic and becomes virtue. So we're bringing more virtue into the world with morsels of a thought of wisdom. Okay, stress dosage. The dosage. You may be asking, what is the right dosage of stress for me? Well, I hate to be that guy, the doctor says, but it is impossible to guess without me knowing what your individual life factors are. Stress is not only physical, but also mental, emotional, social, and spiritual. This is why you can do tests on identical twins with very similar life experiences, and they will react completely differently to any given stressor. If we see the stressor as something positive that is helping us grow versus something that is horrible for us, we will have a completely different reaction to it. Interesting. After a brain injury, your nervous system is thrown off balance, and homeostasis, which makes even small stressors feel overwhelming. Oh, after a brain injury, your nervous system is thrown off balance and homeostasis. It's thrown off of homeostasis, which makes even small stressors feel overwhelming. This is where hormesis comes in. By gradually building up stress tolerance, we strengthen our resilience and work our way back to a healthy baseline. It's all about gradually raising our stress threshold and increasing our resilience. Just like we lift weights, we want to do so in a manner of progressive overload. The same goes for stress. We want to gradually increase the amount we can take. Take action today. That's bringing more virtue into the world, according to me. Take a cold shower, says the doctor, Dr. Bro. Whew. I've done that before, but I haven't done it on purpose. Only when the water. uh, Anyway, take a cold shower, like they do in the army, I guess. Depending on how stressful your life is right now, I want you to push a little past your current limits. If you already are used to cold showers, maybe make it a little colder by doing an ice bath, or try to increase the amount of time you stay in by 30 seconds. If it's your first time, maybe simply getting in for 30 seconds will do it for you. Remember, it's all about finding that balance and harnessing the power of the right amount of stress. Your VIP invitation is here. Early access, huge savings, and 15 free mind gym memory boosting exercises are just a scan away, or go to www.dr-bro.com/VIP brain rescue, all one word. And here is the QR code. I'm going to hold it as still as I can. Don't know if it'll work, but that's there for you. I have to learn how to get those QR codes onto the comment sections. I don't know if I can. Chapter 9. The sixth pillar is N for Nexus. You have now entered the nexus point of your journey. The word nexus means connection. It's the point where different things meet and converge, creating a powerful system. My studies at the International Quantum University of Integrative Medicine with professionals like Dr. Bruce Lipton, Greg Braden, Dr. Joe Dispenza, Dr. Patrick Porter, and Nassim Haramein have opened my mind to the fact that everything is interconnected. Nassim Haramein is spelled Nassim, last name Harramein. Learning these ideas will help you understand the bigger picture of your recovery. I admit some of them may seem a bit complex at first, but if an ex-college dropout can learn them, then I promise so can you. Okay. The first step is N for non-locality. Bob Marley said, "There's a natural mystic flowing through the air." That's the truth. That's absolutely the truth. The Chinese say that too. They don't say it in these eloquent words that I can remember, but they do say that there is music in the air. There is a lot of energy in the air. Energy. Yeah. Anyway, back to the book. You ever feel like what you're doing doesn't matter? Like the world's just too big and you're too small to make any kind of difference? Let me hit you with the truth right now. Everything you do matters. Okay. I'm going to say what I did this morning because I'm going to pause and we're going to read from page 168 next week. 168 is like the greatest number in Chinese numerology, so I can't forget it. Ooh. So my little anecdote for today is I was watching something on television and it reminded me of a book. And the book author, she wrote something in 1976. She's 84 years old, and she wrote she said that there's a Chinese saying. So she said that there's a Chinese saying that says, even if what I write is one word that affects someone that someone will read 1,000 years later, it'll still be worth what I write. Isn't that crazy? So, right, guys, right, WRITE, right, right on. Okay, so I will talk to you again later. Uh, we are going to be in Millennial Samurai tomorrow. Today was Brain Rescue by Dr. Brody Miller, Ph.D. and wife probably Rocio. Gotcha. Go. Okay. Old Kinderhook now.